Let us discuss about free radicals. Free radicals are the molecules that contain unpaired electron in their outermost orbit and they are capable of independent existence. What happens during oxidation reaction? Oxygen is converted into water. So oxygen is reduced completely to form water molecule. But during this process, some molecules are formed by accepting electrons and these are very highly reactive. As these molecules are formed from oxygen, these are called as reactive oxygen species. So the reactive oxygen species are the molecule which are formed from oxygen by accepting electrons and they are highly reactive. These contains free radicals as well as non-radical. So the free radical contains unpaired electron in outermost orbit and they are capable of independent existence, whereas the non-radical molecule do not contain unpaired electron in their outermost orbit. They have same characteristics. And what are these characteristics? They are very highly reactive. They have very short half-life. As these free radicals have unpaired electron, they try to accept or donate the electron, thereby they induce a chain reaction causing nearby molecule to become unstable. See, the free radical, it contains unpaired electron, it attacks nearby molecule, either accepts or donate electron to either accept an electron to become stable molecule or donate electron to become stable molecule. But in this process, this nearby molecule contains an unpaired electron and thereby it becomes a radical. Now this molecule try to accept or donate an electron from another molecule and thereby it becomes the third molecule, and this way the chain reaction goes on, making nearby molecule unstable. And in this way these attack various macromolecules, cells and tissues and thereby causing injury to macromolecules, cells and tissues. So what are the examples of free radicals? Free radicals, the example are superoxide radical, then nitrous oxide radical, hydroxyl radical and hydroperoxyl radical. The example of non-radicals of reactive oxygen species are hydrogen peroxide, ozone, hypochlorous acid and singlet oxygen. So why these free radicals are formed or reactive oxygen species are formed in the first place? So the reason for formation of reactive oxygen species are: number one, they are required to kill bacteria. The free radicals are involved in programmed cell death. Coming to production of these free radicals or reactive oxygen species, it can be endogenous or it can be exogenous. Endogenous, it is the reactive oxygen species are generally seen in subcellular mitochondria. There occur leak of electron in electron transport chain. Then it is also seen in endoplasmic reticulum, where cytochrome P450, which is a monooxygenase, acts on various molecules to detoxify it. Then this is also seen in peroxisomes. In peroxisome, there occur beta oxidation of long chain fatty acid and there occur formation of hydrogen peroxide. And last is, in case of phagocytosis, in phagocytosome of macrophages and phagocytes, this hypochlorous acid is synthesized in order to kill the bacteria. But what are the exogenous sources for this free radical generation? The ionizing radiation, air pollutant, various drugs, smoking, cigarette smoke, alcohol. Alcohol causes more lipid peroxidation, UV rays, ultraviolet rays, and various xenobiotics like insecticide, pesticides which are sprayed over the food we eat. So these ionizing radiation or air pollution or drugs, smoke, alcohol, UV rays and xenobiotics, this all will increase these reactions and thereby increase the production of free radicals. Whereas endogenous reaction, we will see one by one. In mitochondria, molecular oxygen accepts at fourth complex of electron transport chain accepts one electron, thereby it is converted into a superoxide radical. In case of radicals, free radicals, we represent them by forming a dot at the superscript. This superoxide radical accepts electron and two hydrogen atom to form H2O2, hydrogen peroxide. This hydrogen peroxide accepts one electron and one hydrogen ion to liberate water molecule, and hydroxyl radical is formed. To this hydroxyl radical, again one electron and one hydrogen ion is added to form a water molecule. Generally, these superoxide H2O2 and hydroxyl radicals are tightly bound to the complex 4 and thereby they are not released, but still 2 to 3% of these radicals, superoxide radical, hydrogen peroxide and hydroxyl radical, are leaked and these can cause damage. As mitochondrial DNA is nearby to this reactive oxygen species, these can cause more damage to mitochondrial DNA. There are certain non-enzymatic reactions. These are called as Fenton reaction. In this reaction, hydrogen peroxide combines with ferrous or cuprous molecule to form Fe3 plus hydroxyl ion and hydroxyl radical. In order to prevent such reactions, iron or copper are properly chelated in the body with the help of some carrier proteins. There is also another reaction called as Haber-Weiss reaction. In Haber-Weiss reaction, hydrogen peroxide combines with superoxide to form molecular oxygen, hydroxyl ion and hydroxyl radical. Next, coming to enzymatic reactions. Some oxygenases and oxidases produce reduced form of molecular oxygen which are very reactive, and examples are hypoxanthine combines with water and molecular oxygen in presence of xanthine oxidase to form xanthine and hydrogen peroxide. NADPH combines with molecular oxygen in presence of NADPH oxidase to form NADP plus superoxide radical and H plus ion. Hydrogen peroxide reacts with chloride ion in presence of myeloperoxidase to form hypochlorous acid. Then coming to synthesis of nitrous oxide radical, L-arginine reacts with molecular oxygen NADPH and H plus to form, in presence of nitric oxide synthase, it will form L-citrulline plus nitric oxide radical and NADP plus. In endoplasmic reticulum, there occur conversion of xenobiotic substrate to hydroxylated xenobiotic substrate with the help of cytochrome P450, which is a monooxygenase. In this reaction, NADPH plus H plus O2 are converted to NADP plus H2O plus superoxide radical. This superoxide radical can further be converted into hydrogen peroxide and then hydroxyl radical. Free radicals can also be generated by synthesis of lipid radicals, and there is process of initiation, propagation, degradation and finally termination. We will discuss it. Hazards of free radical to lipids. Beneficial effect of free radical or reactive oxygen species, free radicals are generated in the macrophages or phagocytes, which uptake large amount of oxygen when they have to kill the bacteria. Phagocytes engulf bacteria in the phagocytosome, and this it will consume large amount of oxygen. This large amount of oxygen is diverted to formation of free radical, and thereby this beneficial effect of free radical in killing of bacteria takes place. NADPH plus H plus molecular oxygen in presence of NADPH oxidase, it will convert into NADP plus superoxide radical. These superoxide radicals, which are generated by NADPH oxidase, react with water molecule in presence of superoxide dismutase to form hydrogen peroxide and oxygen molecule. This hydrogen peroxide combines with chloride ions to form hypochlorous acid in presence of myeloperoxidase. This hypochlorous acid has bactericidal effect, and thereby it kills the bacteria which is engulfed by macrophage or phagocyte in the phagocytosome. Now, in case of deficiency of this NADPH oxidase, what will happen? Macrophages cannot synthesize superoxide molecule, thereby superoxide will not be converted into hydrogen peroxide, and this hydrogen peroxide cannot be converted into hypochlorous acid. Thereby bactericidal action cannot be achieved. The disease is known as chronic granulomatous disease. In this disease, there is deficiency of NADPH oxidase, thereby HOCl or hypochlorous acid cannot be synthesized and bactericidal effect cannot be generated. So bacteria are not killed in the macrophages, and thereby in this chronic granulomatous disease there occur repeated infections. Reaction to this repeated infection is formation of granuloma. So the name is chronic granulomatous disease. Other beneficial effect of this free radical can be used in, the first one is bactericidal effect, second is in radiation therapy. Particular area of interest is exposed to high intensity X-rays. What will happen? There occur localized oxidative stress. This localized oxidative stress will lead to increased reactive oxygen species or free radical in this area. These reactive oxygen species will damage all the biomolecules. It will damage DNA, thereby it will prevent DNA replication and cell proliferation, and thereby it will prevent tumor cell growth. Third beneficial effect of free radical is nitric oxide radical, which is used in chemical signaling pathway. Also, it is a vasodilator and important molecule. The fourth importance is when we sterilize food article by keeping them in some box which is causing ionizing radiation, then this method of generation of free radical or reactive oxygen species is utilized in this method of sterilization of food. These reactive oxygen species will randomly attack the various cell components. First, it will act on lipid bilayer, thereby it will cause lipid peroxidation. Attack on lipids converting into lipid peroxide will lead to increased permeability of membrane, and there is increased influx of calcium ion inside the cell, swelling of cell. Then this reactive oxygen species will attack on mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and finally nucleus. These membranes are attacked, thereby DNA is attacked, and ultimately it will lead to lysis of the cell and cell death. The lipid peroxidation or oxidation of LDL molecule will lead to identified by macrophages as a foreign molecule. The oxidized LDL molecule. In LDL, there is apoprotein, B100, and cholesterol and triacylglycerol. These long unsaturated fatty acids of these triacylglycerol are attacked, and protein is also attacked, thereby leading to oxidized LDL. This oxidized LDL is identified and macrophages as a foreign molecule. Thereby macrophages will engulf it, and these macrophages will now form foam cells. These foam cells attach to intima of this blood vessel or endothelial lining of the blood vessel, thereby narrowing the blood vessel, and this is the etiology of atherosclerosis. So let us discuss hazards of reactive oxygen species on biomolecule one by one. First, we will consider lipids. This portion can be explained in generation of free radical because lipids, free radicals are also generated during this process. When lipids are attacked by free radical, the reaction takes place in 4 phases. One is initiation, second is propagation, third is degradation, and fourth is termination. To initiate the process of free radical synthesis in lipids, see, this is a lipid molecule. It is attacked by hydroxyl radical. It will form lipid radical and water molecule. So now this lipid radical is formed and it contains unpaired electron. So this lipid try to extract electron from nearby molecule, and or it will try to react with molecular oxygen. And what will happen? This will lead to chain reaction. So this lipid radical combines with molecular oxygen to form lipid peroxy radical. This lipid peroxy radical combines with another lipid molecule to form lipid peroxide and lipid radical. So this is lipid peroxide. Now in case of degradation, there occur degradation of lipid molecule to form lipid radical and aldehyde molecules. The most commonly seen is malondialdehyde. During degradation, there occur breakdown of lipid molecule and aldehyde molecules are liberated. Lipid radicals are synthesized, which will further continue this chain reaction. And how this chain reaction is terminated? Either lipid peroxy radical combine with lipid radical, thereby they will form a stable molecule, or more commonly lipid radical combines with antioxidant like vitamin E to form lipid and vitamin E or tocopherol radical. This tocopherol radical is much more stable, and thereby it will not react easily to this nearby molecule, and thereby this chain reaction is prevented. Thus, vitamin E acts as an antioxidant, and as it is lipid soluble, it acts in lipid biomembrane, thereby prevent lipid peroxidation. Free radicals mostly attack polyunsaturated fatty acid, thereby converting into lipid peroxide, thereby breaking it. Breaking lead to increased permeability, and this will increase influx of calcium. There occurs swelling of cell and there occur lysis of cell. The effects on protein include cross-linking of protein, breakage of protein molecule, aggregation of protein molecule, denaturation of protein molecule. This lead to increased susceptibility to proteolysis. There occur damage to sulfhydryl group, thereby decreasing the activities of most of the proteins. And all these changes are taking place so that the functionality of protein is hampered. So this lead to loss of biological activity of proteins. Again, when these proteins are glycated, there occur more attack of free radicals, and this is seen in diabetes mellitus, where protein glycation takes place due to high sugar level, and thereby more and more protein are broken down due to glycation. Effect of free radicals on nucleic acids. Free radical attack on nucleic acid leads to DNA strand breaks. This is called as apoptosis. Modification of bases, which is known as mutation. There occur fragmentation of deoxyribose and nitrogenous base, and there occur cross-linking between bases of same strand of DNA, between DNA and proteins, and thereby causing aggregation. Net effect of all these activity is there is decreased or no formation of protein, or protein synthesis is inhibited. Oxidative stress is the imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants, and the causes of oxidative stress are increased consumption of pro-oxidants. These compounds will generate more free radicals in the body, or there is a decreased consumption of antioxidant like vitamin E or vitamin C, or there are some minerals which are not taken, like selenium, and which are important for antioxidant enzymes. And third is some disease states. The disease states are degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease or arthritis. It can also be there in atherosclerosis, aging, and cancer. Now coming to relationship between reactive oxygen species and various diseases. These reactive oxygen species, as we have already seen, they cause peroxidation of lipids and aggregation and denaturation of proteins and DNA. Thereby, there occur premature aging, cancer, or atherosclerosis. In aging, there occur increase of accumulation of reactive oxygen species, and thereby we can see degenerative diseases like arthritis or Huntington's disease or Alzheimer's disease. In case of cardiovascular diseases, reactive oxygen species, as we have explained, it will convert LDL into oxidized LDL. This oxidized LDL is identified as foreign molecule and is scavenged by phagocyte, which is converted into foam cell. This foam cell is deposited in intima of blood vessel. This deposition of foam cell on intima lead to decrease in lumen, and it will lead to atherosclerosis. And this atherosclerosis in coronary blood vessel lead to cardiovascular disease or cardiovascular episodes. The third disease is cancer. we know that reactive oxygen species attack DNA molecule. It will cause strand break and aggregation. Hydroxyl radical attack individual nitrogen bases. There occur their mutations and breaks, strand breaks. This disrupts DNA repair process. Also, it disrupts the events of cell cycle, and thereby there occur increased cell proliferation and leading to cancer. Raised reactive oxygen species or free radicals are also seen in inflammatory diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, chronic glomerulonephritis, and chronic ulcerative colitis. In case of respiratory diseases, cigarette smoke. When inhaled this cigarette smoke, it contains free radicals. Then this is engulfed by macrophages. There occur oxidative damage to lungs. This lead to acute respiratory distress syndrome, obstructive airway disease, and ultimately to lung carcinoma. In premature infants, due to lung immaturity, 100% oxygen is given for more than 24 hours. This will lead to activated neutrophils in lung area, and this will release free radicals. These free radicals destroy endothelium, cause lung edema and bronchopulmonary dysplasia. In this case, eyes are also affected of newborn infant. This is called as retrolental fibroplasia, the retinopathy of prematurity. In case of diabetes, there occur increased production of free radicals due to increase in glycolysis, activated sorbitol pathway. Third is autooxidation of glucose, and fourth is glycation of proteins. Then there is injury called as a reperfusion injury. What happens if there is ischemia? There occur release of calcium ions, and if this area is reperfused, there occur increased partial pressure of oxygen, increased concentration of hydrogen peroxide and oxygen molecules. When this calcium ion concentration is increased, it increases activity of phospholipases and other degradative enzymes. This leads to damage in plasma membrane and membranes of subcellular organisms. This leads to further efflux of calcium, cell edema, and death. Also, during ischemia, nitrogenous bases are converted into hypoxanthine. When reperfused, this xanthine oxidase acts on it, and there occur formation of xanthine along with H2O2. All these lead to increased oxidative state and reperfusion injury. Thereby, even after ischemia is released, there occur cell death due to reactive oxygen species. And last is in lens, there occur cataract due to oxidative stress, and lens is having highest concentration of antioxidant in the body. Reactive oxygen species are the very highly reactive molecules. This can be free radicals or this can be non-free radicals. They can be produced endogenously or they are produced due to effect of exogenous element. They are produced in subcellular. They have disastrous effects on protein, lipids, and nucleic acid. They have some beneficial effect of signal transmission and killing of bacteria, and they are imparted in various diseases.